Amid the hustle and bustle of a busy market, a young German shepherd, clearly neglected, catches the attention of a 5-year-old girl. The dog appears sad and unloved, and the girl pleads with her mother to help her save him. What happens next is truly remarkable. On a bright Saturday morning, 5-year-old Emma wandered through the bustling market alongside her parents when her eyes fell on a big German shepherd tied to a post near a corner stall. Her mother, Olivia, noticed Emma's gaze and followed it to the dog. With a sigh, she recognized her daughter's natural sensitivity toward animals in need. "Okay, sweetie, we can go take a look, but stay close to me," Olivia said as they drew nearer. Emma crouched a few feet from the dog. "Hi there, boy," she whispered gently, reaching out her hand. The dog sniffed cautiously at the air, its ears twitching slightly in response. Emma edged a little closer. "You seem so sad." "It's okay, I'm here now." Olivia observed her daughter attentively. Emma always had an uncanny connection with animals, but this dog appeared particularly vulnerable. "Emma, be careful," Olivia warned. "He might be feeling scared." The little girl nodded, but her focus remained on the dog. She noticed a vendor nearby, who seemed to be the owner. The man was busy attending to customers and paid little attention to the dog. Emma stood up and approached him. "Excuse me, sir, is this your dog?" The vendor glanced at her briefly, then nodded and said the dog was no good, nobody wanted him. He was just taking up space. Emma's heart sank. "May I pet him?" she asked. The man gave a nonchalant shrug. Emma turned back to the dog, carefully extending her hand to stroke his fur. To her amazement, the dog didn't shy away. Instead, he leaned into her touch, his tail giving a faint wag. Emma smiled. She knew a connection was forming. Over the next few weeks, Emma and her parents visited the market regularly. Each time, she spent time with the dog, whom she named Max. With each visit, their bond grew stronger. Max seemed to recognize Emma, his eyes lighting up whenever he saw her. Her parents noticed the growing attachment and began to discuss the possibility of bringing the dog home. They knew it wouldn't be easy. Max needed medical attention and a lot of care, but they couldn't ignore Emma's unwavering determination to help him. Finally, after much discussion, they approached the vendor with an offer to take Max home. The man seemed eager to be rid of what he called the useless dog and agreed readily. Emma's heart soared. She gently unchained Max and led him to their car. "You're coming home with us," she whispered softly. On the ride back, Emma sat close to the dog, her hand gently stroking his fur. He rested his head on her lap, a quiet gesture of trust and comfort. Emma had rescued a neglected dog from the market, but little did she know that Max, as he would soon be named, was about to reveal just how remarkable their bond would become. Bringing the dog home was just the beginning of a brand new journey for Emma and her family. While the initial joy of rescuing the dog filled their hearts, they soon realized the challenges that lay ahead. Max, with his matted fur and visible ribs, had endured a tough life, and it showed in his behavior. At first, he was skittish and wary of his new surroundings. He flinched at sudden movements and loud noises and cowered when adults tried to pet him. Emma spent every possible moment with him. She would sit by his side and read books or simply talk to him about her day. Her tiny size seemed to put him at ease. Slowly, the dog began to show signs of trust. He leaned into her hand when she petted him and started following her around the house. But his behavior was still unpredictable, so the family decided to seek professional help. They reached out to a local animal behaviorist, Dr. Michael Johnson, who specialized in working with traumatized dogs. Dr. Johnson came to their home and carefully observed Max's actions and demeanor. "This dog has endured significant hardship," he said thoughtfully. "His erratic behavior stems from the trauma he's experienced in the past. What he needs now is a stable environment, patience, and consistent training to rebuild his sense of security." He provided them with a training plan that emphasized positive reinforcement and gradual exposure to new experiences. The training was slow and required a lot of patience. There were days when Max showed progress and responded well to commands. He even sometimes played fetch with Emma. But there were also setbacks. Max would sometimes growl or snap if he felt cornered or threatened, though he was never aggressive toward the little girl. One day, while playing in the yard, Max approached Emma with a ball in his mouth, his tail wagging like a propeller. It was the first time he had initiated play, and Emma's heart soared with joy. She threw the ball, and Max chased after it, barking happily. Olivia and James, Emma's father, watched from the porch. The journey to rehabilitate their dog was far from over, but the family's unwavering commitment was starting to pay off. As weeks turned into months, Max's behavior steadily improved. Emma's boundless patience and unconditional love started to mend the emotional scars from his past. One bright afternoon, she was playing in the yard, her laughter ringing through the air. Max joyfully chased after a ball, his tail wagging with newfound happiness. From the porch, Olivia and James sat sipping iced tea, a sense of calm washing over them as they watched. In that moment, they couldn't help but marvel at how far their beloved dog had come. Suddenly, a loud noise shattered the peaceful afternoon. The neighbor's cat had been startled by a car backfiring. It darted across the yard and sent Max into a frenzy. He took off after the cat, barking wildly. Emma tried to stop Max. She ran after him, her small legs struggling to keep up. In the chaos, she didn't notice the approaching car speeding down the street. Olivia and James's hearts leapt into their throats as they saw Emma chasing Max. They shouted, but their voices were drowned out by the car's roar and the dog's barking. In that split second, Max's protective instincts took over. He perceived the danger long before Emma was aware of it. As the car sped dangerously close, he spun around and dashed back toward her with incredible speed. With a mighty leap, he pushed her out of the vehicle's path just in time. The car screeched to a halt, the driver's face pale with shock. Olivia and James rushed to Emma's side. She was dazed but unharmed, clinging to Max, who stood protectively over her. He nuzzled her gently, licking her face as if to reassure her that she was safe. From that day on, Max's place in the family was solidified. His courageous act changed the way Olivia and James saw him. He was no longer just a rescue dog with a troubled past. He was a loyal protector and a beloved member of their family, willing to go to great lengths to keep them safe. One day during a walk, Max suddenly froze and began to growl. Emma looked up and saw a man approaching. It was the same vendor from the market who had kept Max chained and neglected. The man's eyes narrowed as he recognized the dog. "So that's where you ended up," he sneered, his tone cold and sharp. Emma tightened her grip on Max's leash, feeling the tension radiating from him. She knew she had to stay composed. "Max is my dog now," she said with quiet determination, "and you can't take him back." The man let out a scoff, his voice dripping with arrogance. "He was my dog first," he retorted. "You had no right to take him." Emma didn't waver. Her voice was steady as she met his gaze. "You didn't take care of him," she replied firmly. "He deserved better." The man took a step closer. Max growled more fiercely, positioning himself protectively in front of Emma. The man threatened to involve the authorities, even accusing her of stealing his dog. Emma's mind raced. She knew the man had no claim, but the confrontation was unnerving. "Go ahead," she replied. "We have proof of how you treated him. You won't get him back." The man glared at her, then turned and walked away, muttering under his breath. Emma let out a shaky breath and knelt beside Max. She hugged him tightly and said, "It's okay. He won't hurt you ever again." The incident shook Emma, but it also strengthened her resolve. She knew she had to be vigilant and protect Max from anyone who might try to take him away. She discussed the encounter with her parents, who reassured her that they would support her and keep Max safe. On a bright and sunny Saturday, the local community hosted a pet fair and dog show. Emma's family chose to take part in the event. It was an opportunity to showcase Max's progress and enjoy a day out together. The fair was bustling with activity when they arrived. Booths lined the park, offering pet supplies, treats, and information about animal care. The air was filled with excited barks and laughter as dogs of all shapes and sizes mingled with their owners. Emma was overjoyed to attend the event and was excited to see how Max would adapt to the unfamiliar setting. As they wandered through the bustling fair, they came across a booth showcasing a tracking and agility demonstration. Emma's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm as she took in the display. "Can we try this, Mommy?" she asked, looking up at her mother with hopeful eyes. Olivia smiled and nodded. They approached the booth, and a friendly instructor, Miss Taylor, greeted them. She asked if they wanted to see if their dog had any hidden talents. Emma nodded enthusiastically. The instructor guided them to the agility course, which was set up with tunnels, jumps, and weaving poles. "Let's begin with a few simple agility drills and observe how Max performs," she proposed. Emma led her dog to the starting line, her heart pounding with excitement. She had never tried agility with Max before, but she had a feeling that he might surprise everyone. She whispered in his ear and asked if he was ready. Max's ears perked up, and he wagged his tail eagerly. As soon as Emma signaled, Max bolted forward with determination. He moved through the course with remarkable agility and grace. Max soared effortlessly over the jumps, threaded smoothly through the poles, and dashed through the tunnels with speed and accuracy that left everyone stunned. The crowd watched in awe as he completed the course faster than anyone had expected. Emma beamed with pride. She had always known her dog was special, but seeing him excel in the agility course was beyond her wildest dreams. The news of Max's hidden talent spread quickly through the fair. People who had once viewed him as just a rescued dog now saw him as a star. Emma's family received numerous offers from trainers and agility clubs. Everyone was eager to help Max reach his full potential. The discovery of his talent opened up new possibilities for Emma and her beloved dog. They began training with the local agility club. Max's progress was astounding, and he quickly became a favorite among the trainers. But the excitement surrounding Max's newfound agility talent was soon overshadowed by a troubling development. The previous owner, emboldened by seeing Max's success, began to escalate his threats. He started showing up at the park during their training sessions. He would shout that Max belonged to him, and that he would take him back by any means necessary. Emma's parents grew increasingly concerned for their daughter's safety and Max's well-being. They decided it was time to take legal action to secure the dog's place in their family permanently. They contacted a lawyer, Miss Anderson, who specialized in animal rights cases. During their initial consultation, Miss Anderson listened carefully to their story. "You have a solid case," she said with confidence. "The key will be to collect as much evidence as you can of Max's past mistreatment and demonstrate how well he is doing in your care." Olivia and James began collecting everything they could to support their case. They had taken detailed photographs of Max's condition when they first rescued him, including his matted fur, protruding ribs, and sad eyes. They also gathered vet records showing his health improvements and testimonials from neighbors, friends, and trainers who had witnessed Max's transformation. Emma was determined to help as well. She wrote a heartfelt letter describing her bond with Max and the positive changes she had seen in him. "Max is my best friend," she wrote with heartfelt sincerity. "He saved my life, and I love him deeply. Please don't let anyone take him away from me." The legal process was daunting, and the court case was looming. To add to their stress, the local agility competition was fast approaching. It was an important event where Max could showcase his talent and further demonstrate how well he had adjusted to his new life. Despite the tension, Emma and Max continued their training. Emma's heart pounded every time she saw the previous owner lurking nearby, but she drew strength from her love for Max and her determination to keep him safe. On the day of the competition, the air was electric. Dozens of dogs and their owners gathered, ready to compete in various events. As they waited for their turn, Emma noticed the previous owner standing on the sidelines, glaring at them. She took a deep breath and focused on Max. "We can do this," she whispered gently, "just like we practiced." When the announcer called their names, Emma and Max walked onto the course with determination. The crowd grew silent, anticipation filling the air. Emma gave the signal, and Max sprang into motion. He soared over the jumps, weaved through the poles, and raced through the tunnels with a grace that took everyone's breath away. As they crossed the finish line, the crowd erupted in applause. Emma beamed with pride, and Max wagged his tail excitedly. The competition's judges were impressed. One of them, a renowned dog trainer, approached Emma. "You and Max are an outstanding pair," he commented. "He's an exceptional dog, and you've done an impressive job training him." The day of the hearing finally arrived. Emma gripped Max's leash tightly. The previous owner was there, scowling and muttering under his breath. Miss Anderson presented their case with confidence. She highlighted Max's progress and the loving care he had received from Emma's family. The judge listened attentively. He reviewed the photographs, vet records, and testimonials. Emma's letter was read aloud, bringing tears to the eyes of many in the courtroom. Finally, the judge turned to the previous owner. "The evidence clearly shows that Max was neglected and abused under your care. He has thrived with his new family, and it is in his best interest to remain with them." The previous owner protested, but the judge was firm. "Your behavior has demonstrated that you are unfit to care for this dog," the judge declared. "The court rules in favor of Emma's family. Max will remain with them permanently." The court ruling was a significant victory for Emma and her family, but the story didn't end there. Following the hearing, the judge ordered an investigation into Max's previous owner. What emerged from this investigation shocked everyone and solidified the community's support for Emma and Max. It was revealed that the man had a history of animal maltreatment. Several other animals had suffered under his care. Witnesses came forward with testimonies about his cruel behavior, and the local news picked up the story. The story spread like wildfire, triggering a surge of public outrage. The details of Max's past mistreatment rallied the community into action. Neighbors, friends, and even strangers united around Emma's family, pledging to make sure Max's former owner would never be able to mistreat another animal.